up like it's the Apollo. Your walk is vicious. Let's get down to business. You and me together. Woo, that's something different. Ooh, come on. I don't ask for much. I really don't, girl. I just want what's fair. Look here. I'll bring that fire and desire, baby. All you gotta do is this. All you gotta do is meet me halfway there. I deserve to be with somebody as
unless I might have missed them directly on that drop, so possibly a change happening right there. But Wolfie and Mr. J, they'll rock it down at Coney Crossroads. We thought it'd be a little bit free so far for everyone possibly landing here, but that was not the case at all today.
Yeah, I mean, this was Ira zooming over to the drop spot, right? 3 teams have moved here from what was an uncontested drop spot previously. Like, this has been Ira Zumi's home for qualifier after qualifier, season after season. We see Fire Hunters move from Tilted. Jocks, who was originally on south side of Sleepy, has also moved here at the same time. And then I missed who that third team was right off the bat there, but they've also moved. So this has just become a mess. This is what happens when a team is removed from the lobby. Players think, you know what, I'm going to be the one who's going to go there. I'm going to get the uncontested drop. Clearly no one else is going to do that. Incorrect.
It's like musical chairs, but it's a very big chair. And like there also just can't be one winner, right? Everyone's kind of attracted to it, but man, the music has not just stopped yet. Still have a few more games to go, so maybe the adjustments come back in. These are kind of all misfit teams, though. You're kind of correct in terms of like, you know, they're coming from spots where things might not be working out as much. They're coming from places where they might not have a home, so trying to find one at a brand new drop you're not even comfortable with, and now there's more teams there too. You weren't even expecting this. It's worse off than your previous, you know, entire engagement.
Now, one of the things I'm actually thinking is SkyZoo's team was Sleepy Sound South normally, and then today they've moved to Tilted. So that's 2 teams from Tilted have moved here at the same time. So
wow.
We were probably looking at Sanjay and Vav, Raxi and Mixon should be chilling off spawn. As we look to a team who is not, which is Novan Hardfan, team who struggled a little bit. I know their Coach Harry, have been trying to prep for this off-spawn battle so far with the teams all around them. And sometimes there's only so much prep you can do. You just have to hit the shots. You just have to outfight and outclass the opponent, which is Malamo and Sirs, who's very, very, very understanding of this south side of the map. They've been landing here throughout the entire season so far.
Oh, things are getting crazy. It's at the crossroads, though. Lanes finally starting to clash. Wolfie, Mr. J, I feel like they're always going to be going either up and down together. Do have a little bit of clutch potential, but it's never one person making a mistake. They hold down the line towards the very end.
Look at that map in the bottom right as well. 2 more teams starting to rotate their way into third party. I'm guessing that's Volko and Pena on the right hand side, maybe Bofink and Bevies on that far left, trying to go on in. It is indeed. This is becoming just a complete mess of a POI. You know, we saw the first 2 games with so many players still left up in this. We've got 5 players down so far, and I expect that to drop even faster right now. Yeah, the map's popped up in the bottom right. Thank you very much, production. It is indeed Bofink and Bevies moving on in from the loot lake on the far left. And then Pena's team was also taking shots in there. There is not enough chests in this. There's not enough loot for 2 teams to split. Fights here are awkward with 2 teams, but with 3 and 2 on the outside, third partying in, nada.
I'm like watching literally a half and half zone. It feels like this isn't even the first zone. Why is everyone
it's
here?
arena.
It's arena now, completely. So tough. Skies and Jocks. Oh, they're always gonna jump on a little bit of a mistake or, you know, an overpeak. And Servantry, I think, kind of scared the last people these guys fought was Let's Use Swilliam. So they kind of have experienced maximum aggression inside this lobby, and they have been splintered apart before. So really trying to together. Meanwhile, yeah, Wolfie, Mr. J, as I said, Mr. J just getting taken apart as Wolfie barely goes down. That's That's Symmetry just running inside that box, but unfortunately, they're not caught between two different teams. It's a crossfire, and he can't get out. Kong already down, and it's straight to the face of one of his opponents. It's not going to be enough. That's Skyzoo just taking him apart.
Crossfire at the crossroads. We've got the two teams left remaining from this, which is the two teams who ended up pushing in here from a distance at the same time. Both Bevies now probably pretty happy with what they've managed to get out of this. They've got their surge. They're currently 8th in the leaderboard. They're not looking to take any risks. They're in no way trying to put Skyzoo out of that, which now just leaves Skyzoo's team in there as a duo, which, I mean, I don't know what's left. Hopefully there's enough materials. There's plenty of metal in that drop spot. I don't know what in terms of a loot. Lotix and Sindri have moved into the south side of Sleepy Sound rather than being on that shell or high water over to the west of this, but they are fighting against Force and Wings. Yesterday, Sundown's prediction, who've now disengaged.
Yeah, I feel like Wings and Force overall have had some struggles really just getting past that mid game. Overall, they've maybe had incorrect decisions on where to position, because I feel like every time it's something that's going wrong in hindsight. One build not covered up properly, or maybe not being on a hill, instead being too low and not having enough of a sight line, over peeking for it and then going down. Here some moments from Symmetry and Kong rolling through, and everything looked good for the moment. They're taking apart everyone inside the POI. Confidence is there. I saw 8 points. I guess they all got it from this game, basically. There we go. Yeah. And that it was just absolute doom and demise. Wow.
I mean, that,
hey, invest in a bigger toaster. Like, I don't know.
the same thing happened to both teammates as well. We saw Wolfie sitting behind the unfortunately sized toaster being picked up from a long distance, and then another obviously there from Mr. J just sitting chilling at the same time, getting sprayed in the back. So maybe a little bit of caution needs to be thrown into the wind there when you've got two different teams contesting you in such a small drop spot. You've got to be aware of those angles that are going to come around from the back, get those sprays in. Use a bit of wood. Come on, guys. Come on, one build.
Heavy investment you're asking for, but
well, now they aren't in the lobby, so place the wood wall. It's worth it. Trust me.
Here comes Nate and Snazy. I'm still looking for the magic, man. I just feel like, you know, I was here to watch a magic show, some magicians do some tricks, and I've only been watching, you know, the cup and ball 24/7 for a few quals. I haven't seen the craziness, you know, cloning or some type of, you know, it was actually twins the whole time between two doors.
You've not seen the rabbit in the hat yet.
The rabbit in the hat, yeah, exactly.
I'm hoping that's not the only tricks they have up there. They're a bit in the money, 12th. They're on that leaderboard. They're in the discussion that we've had. But from this split, we've seen so much success throughout the FNCS so far. Pink and Anas, a qualifier number 2, won from this exact drop spot, doing the exact same strategy. I'm hoping that Snazy and Nate have learned from that. A VOD reviewed, have picked up the idea. But I already know that they haven't, because I understand this is not how you play that drop spot. This drop spot is about getting out of there way faster, getting set up on some of these hills. It seems like these guys don't have a great grasp of how to play that particular split.
That might just be a cost of adaptation, right? You don't have everything entirely in there. Andy. No, the angel on the side of the foundation. I like it. Giving good advice, hopefully, on where the zone should go.
Which shoulder is on? Left side? Is that the good one or the bad one?
I think if it's Andy, either shoulder is good, you know?
Right, okay.
He can just fly around a little bit. Okay, I thought this was about to just fall completely. I've actually never seen POVs of people on the foundation. He was like, I disagree. I want to choose.
No. I am the... Yo, see, Andy, I still think back to the Chapter 2 season semi-finals clutch. See Andy at the time, one of the Fortnite history created by this man right here. Do you think we're going to see that today? This is the final chance for them to qualify. They've been here all 3 days.
Light from this duo specifically, right? Over and over again, but I have not seen the sun shine. So you got Andy in a lobby that is a lot more difficult controlling height for multiple zones in the end game, but then going down to like a 4th retake, right? They're denying retakes from people that are just completely insane of the game. Tayson Thomas trying to go for it as well, and they're just like, you know, it's not happening, but they don't have what it takes to get to that 9th zone and secure the big clutch. And you're talking about Zandy with the clutch as well. I feel like in this format, especially in this day, it has to be a duo win that comes through. I don't think today will be a big day of solo clutches overall. I think it comes down to a 2v2 towards the end. I never see Zgot and Andy combining and surviving till that point. They're always kind of like a rocket ship. One part has to fall for the other one to keep boosting up. That might be so difficult to pull off today.
And that's exactly what we saw in the previous game. It was Alex God, still left in it. I think he was 3rd or 4th in that last game, so you're completely right. But this game could be the game. This is a far southeast zone. They're already at the home zone for these guys. They're comfortably set up so far already. A lot of these other teams are going to have to rotate over this. What is, quite frankly, a horrible zone. What a lot of the players think is the worst and most difficult zones to play in this current map because of just the huge bodies of water here. The rotations across these are so hard, because the players who are set up early, like Ziandi and Zigon on the right-hand side here, are set up in that high spot. They can hold anyone who is rotating past. So if you're a team in this particular zone, get down there early.
I just pressed my map bind on my keyboard by accident to try to get, you know, the whole zone's perspective. I'm like, that's not how this works.
He's muted me instead by accident.
We'll have to see in just a second. We get some different POVs of everyone that's kind of rotating in, and I'm just more so focusing on the mini map, at least on who's not zoomed in. There we go, Floki, thank you. Yeah, it just seems like you just have to claim an island. I'm only really experienced with this type of circumstance thinking about some of the instances in chapter 2 where you're forced to go towards that, you know, top left side, towards the islands overall. You either have to make an all-in claim and hope it works out. If not, you're up to, you know, big costs. The fact that launch pads aren't as prevalent anymore is going to be so much tougher to rotate. We saw Fast Roki and Kylie, I believe, yesterday, just in the water by themselves in a place they shouldn't have been allowed to be in. You end up with circumstances like that with no mats. It becomes very desperate.
They also came second that game from my recollection. They went deep into the end game. It was, I'm not sure if it was specifically second, but they managed to make it work. And that's what these teams are going to have to do right now. You know, we see majority of the POVs that we've gone to are either right on that edge line, as we can see in that bottom right map right now, that Floki and Clement. You know, in game 1, we saw them kind of stagger, get to that good point in the zone, get some tags, rotate on. Right now, they're not doing that.
You can actually blame the pros for this zone 100%.
Oh, yeah.
If I recall correctly, we just had something roll on the pre-show where we asked everyone, NEU, some of the top pros, what do you prefer, the snow or the sand? And I'm pretty sure sand won like 8-2 or something. So it's their fault. We gave you what you asked for, and now it's, you know, water and sunshine, yes. No resort, though. It's people looking for surge. That's the worst.
We have seen a lot of sand zones. You might be onto something here.
Telling you, we asked. We literally asked.
This is definitely not the zone that they wanted when they had that in mind, though. Thinking, are we on a full southeast water zone?
Floki Clement also finding some trouble. I like that instant armored wall from their opponents as well. That's really good to make sure you're not any type of big pressure. That's fast. Kylie Kane actually diving a lot deeper than he can handle. He does not know how to swim in those depths. 22 HP now. And Cruel also trying to keep his head above high water, but there's so many different people acting as the opposite of lifeguards, punishing Kane and Cruel for diving in this pool. This is tough.
Lucky managed to keep the majority of the metal that they can use for later on if they can find somewhere to reharvest some of that brick and... But I don't think that's going to be possible. I'm thinking this is going to be an engagement they're going to continue to go on to, and it seems to be Fast Roki and Kylie. They've still got their eyes on. Yep, the walls replace the cones in the box. Oh, they're just trying to have to take another angle as they're getting sprayed by the entire lobby set up very early on here. Here we go, Fast Roki and Kylie. This could be a rough one for them.
And that's exactly what we're looking for. A little bit of attention, you know, attracted towards them. It goes straight to Fast Roki as well because they're in the front. Nice pump from Cruel. That is what I'm talking about. That is so nice to grab that attention, take the risk, and then actually use it against their opponent.
This is exactly what I talked about. The teams who are rotating late to these kind of zones will be punished. And that wasn't even their first elimination on Fast Roki. That was because they were rotating at the same time, getting shot from the entire focus of every single player, boxed up early with eyes on the prize.